Eisen, here is my statement. The Browns should take Saquon Barkley #1 overall. Teddy, I'd like to start with you on this.
All right, that's not an overreaction. Let's get over this quarterback stuff, okay? Because it's nonsense. All this talk about quarterbacks, and I understand. And Cleveland does need a quarterback, but if this was their only pick, all right, I'd say yes. Go ahead and take your quarterback that you need. However, with 1 and with 4, the best player in the draft is Saquon Barkley, running back out of Penn State. Fill out the card right now and take the kid, all right? Just give it to the commissioner now because you still have a pick at 4. I dare you, New York. Go ahead and take a quarterback when you got Eli Manning right there who thinks he can still play 2 to 3 years. And by the way, Indianapolis at 3, what are you going to do? You're going to take one of those top quarterbacks with that 3rd overall pick when you have all of those holes in your roster? Or I dare one of those other organizations to trade up into those spots and get them because I'm sitting at 4 and I'm going to be there when another quarterback is still going to be there, 1 out of the 4 when you're talking about those 4 top quarterbacks that the guys just went through. So get the best player in the draft. And also, here's what's important, and this is what I really want to stress. Why put the pressure of the #1 overall pick on your quarterback if you're the Cleveland Browns? Why not take Saquon with the 1st? He can handle all the pressure, the running back position. He'll be productive for you. Might be offensive rookie of the year. And then the quarterback just slips in at 4. He's our guy. No pressure. Go and help us win football games.
Look at him already going with offensive rookie of the year here.
I love it.
You agree it's an overreaction? The Browns should take Saquon Barkley at #1.
This is not an overreaction. Barkley is a franchise changer. I'm talking Adrian Petersons, the Le'Veon Bells, the Todd Gurleys. He is the best player in the draft. And if I'm the Cleveland Browns, there is no way that I pass on him at #1. Everyone talks about his combine performance from the weekend. The biggest part to me and the thing I was most impressed by, he caught the ball more natural than any receiver at the combine because he has that kind of ability. Listen, he's a 20-touch-a-game kind of guy, and just like Teddy said, he's going to take the pressure off of your quarterback because you know you're getting the ball in his hand 20 to 25 times a game, and that's where a lot of your offense is going to come from. So if I'm the Cleveland Browns, that's exactly who I pick with the #1.
I think it's an overreaction, and I'll note this, that if the Cleveland Browns land a veteran quarterback in free agency, and that's an if at this point, then you can make the case that it's not an overreaction. But for now, it's an overreaction. The Cleveland Browns have been starved for a quarterback for 25 years. Huck, you played with about 13 quarterbacks during your, 4 seasons with the Cleveland Browns. It has been a whirling dervish, a carousel of quarterbacks. And I understand what Teddy's logic is in that, listen, if you take Barkley at 1, one of the top 4 quarterbacks is still going to be available. As a matter of fact, 2 of them at least will be available at pick 4. The problem is this. Let's just say you are fully enamored with a Baker Mayfield and you just sort of like the rest of the guys. You think they're solid prospects, but you're not totally, bet the house on them. Well, if Baker Mayfield's not available at pick 4, then all of a sudden you're settling for a quarterback. You take the most important position on the roster with the very first pick, which guarantees you that no matter who it is you love the most, he is sitting there and waiting for you. And you're hoping that Saquon Barkley falls to pick 4, but there's no guarantee. But listen, we know this. Kareem Hunt this past year, Alvin Kamara this past year, Le'Veon Bell, the guy we started the show talking about, David Johnson, not first-round picks. You can find so many quality players at running back outside of the first round.
Rebuttal?
I mean, if you know he's that guy, you mean if we go back to Le'Veon Bell's draft, they wouldn't draft him in the top 5?
Oh, they would. But again, the point is that
but they had a quarterback.
True.
Unearth.
I don't feel like the quarterbacks from this year are separated so much that there's one guy you need. And for that reason, I think all of them are pretty much equal. They have their limitations. They have their talent. And I think they're all equal on the board for the Browns.
I don't know how Cleveland would fall in love with one of these guys. From what I'm being told, what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing in terms of, Andrew Luck was clear. It was clear when he was coming out of Stanford, something like that. But by far, there's nothing like that there. So it's just that if you're biased on a guy because of what you're being told about a guy, look at the film. Who's the guy that guarantees you production? Right now, it's Saquon Barkley. I still think it's a luxury that you have 1 and 4. You can get best of both worlds, in my opinion.
All right, well, we know the Browns certainly need a quarterback, but you know who else needs a quarterback?